Call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order on October 15th, 2025. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Thibodeau.
Here.
Alderman Gouveia is here. Alderman Moran. Alderwoman Timmons. Alderman Clemens. Alderman Klee.
Here.
Mayor Donches.
Here.
4 in attendance.
All right, public comment. If anyone were here to discuss anything that's on the agenda, they would be welcome to come forward, but there is no one here, so. Communications, first from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Gouveia.
In regard to boiler replacement for Station 4 in the amount of $42,000 funded from Bond 54 Property Services, I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of a replacement boiler for Station 4 due to the failure through Palmer and Sickard in the amount of $42,000. Funding will be through Department 152 Fire Rescue Fund Bond 54 Property Services.
Good evening, Steve Buxton, Fire Chief. While we were doing some preventive maintenance on our boilers in preparation for the heating season, we discovered that the heat exchanger on one of the boilers at Station 4 had failed. It's 20 years old, not really economically feasible to repair it at this point in time. That building has a redundant heating system. That means there's 2 boilers there. They're a little smaller than if it was just 1 boiler, so they work in conjunction. And they're connected in series. If one fails, we're kind of able to keep the building from freezing, but it will not keep the building up to temperature for what deep winter type conditions. So at the end of it, it's a 20-year-old boiler. If failed, it'd be better than 18 grand to repair the heat exchanger. We still have the whole other boiler that we have to worry about. And then to install a new one is $42,000. So we have that, and we're looking for a favorable approval of that this evening.
Alderwoman Klee.
Thank you very much. As I was reading this, it talked about that the 2 boilers had to be identical, which is why we're going with this. So this new one that you're buying is the same, and if we didn't do that, we would actually have to buy 2 brand new ones. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Thibodeau.
Is the remaining one and the one that failed, are they the same age?
Yes, sir.
How is the condition of the one that's operating?
At this point in time, we're being told it's good and operating appropriately. As you know, we have some infrastructure problems that you guys have been so kind to give us money to start addressing some of our deferred maintenance issues. The building controllers at Station 4 is one of our priorities to get squared away. Those have also failed. So we're not sure that the system was working appropriately, and one of the boilers was perhaps doing the yeoman's share of the work, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, Alderwoman Klee.
Yeah, just a quick follow-up kind of on that particular one. You said that the second one is good. If for some reason that failed, would you be able to replace that one with the same? I guess my anxiety is if we replace this one and then that one fails maybe in like 3 or 4 years, are we then going to have to buy 2 new ones, or is there going to be a like one to that?
No, we should be able to find a like one.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Thibodeau.
Did we look at, just out of curiosity, what if there was any cost break if you bought 2 now? Is that what you got, instead of a totally new system, but if you just got 2 of these new boilers? Just because it's so close to wintertime is the only reason I'm asking.
Yep.
So I don't know if there was any financial benefit to getting both now. I'm just curious.
Quite honestly, I don't know that we did look into that.
Okay.
Mostly because we have a budget we're operating within,
Sure.
and we have a lot of infrastructure work that we do need to achieve.
Thank you.
All right, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to an additional authorization for FY26 bus vehicle supplies in the amount not to exceed $40,000, funded from Transit Grant 61 Supplies and Materials. I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve additional authorization to purchase various parts for the Gillig bus fleet from Gillig in the amount not to exceed $40,000. Funding will be through Department 186 Transportation Fund, Transportation Grant 61 Supplies and Materials.
And I think Matt Sullivan is on Zoom.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the committee. Matt Sullivan, Community Development Director, here on behalf of this additional authorization, representing a total of $85,000 of authorization in fiscal year 26. Gillig is our primary bus vendor for the National Transit System's public transportation services. All the buses that you see out on the road, with the exception of just a few, are in fact Gillig buses. Back in May of 2025, we had come forward with a not to exceed purchase order authorization of $45,000. This is to purchase things like fenders and other associated parts throughout the year based on accidents or general wear and tear. $45,000 was our estimate at that time that we'd need through the rest of fiscal year 26. In fact, we've had a few incidents and we've had some deterioration of our current fleet as they age. And ultimately, we've made the decision that we need an additional $40,000 of authorization for the remainder of fiscal year 26. Therefore, the request in front of you is to authorize NTS up to $85,000 in purchases from Gillig in order to make those needed repairs and do maintenance moving forward. Happy to answer any questions that the committee might have.
Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you. With this request of the additional $40,000, you have that in the budget, and it's not taking away from another item that you would have budgeted for?
Yeah, great question, Alderwoman Clee. We do have it in the budget. It's a good moment, though, for me to point out that I think I often remark that Transit's budget is complicated, and complicated sometimes can be a bit scary. Transit is not a traditional locked-in budget in the same way that other city departments are. We're very fortunate in the fact that we can flex monies from within our capital budget. So in reviewing this with Transit Administrator Correa, we are able to find money in the existing capital budget to cover this additional expense. But it does exceed the initial projections that we had in our fiscal 26 operating budget, or capital budget rather, for Gillig. But again, we have other monies available to us that recover this, thus resulting in us not exceeding the current budget.
Thank you.
Sure.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to home and stadium lighting structure system in the amount of $815,000 funded from Bond 54 Property Services, make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of a 2025 light structure system with total light control TLC for LED technology from Musco Sports Lighting LLC in the amount of $815,000. Funding will be through Department 177 Parks Fund Bond 54 Property Services.
Good evening, Brian Conant, Superintendent of the Parks Department. This is to replace the demolition and replacement of the lights at Holman Stadium, the date from 1948. It's estimated that the new LED lights will pay for themselves within 20 years. And I do want to address, like I told all three of you on the phone, the demolition of this has already started. The lights have already been taken down. So I'm hoping that you vote favorably on this, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to 2025 Ford Massey Ferguson MF 4707 in the amount of $102,488 funded from SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements. Make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of a 2025 Massey Ferguson MF 4707 tractor from Big Boy Toys LLC in the amount of $102,488. Funding will be through Department 177 Parks Fund, SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements.
Good evening, Brian Conant, Superintendent of the Parks Department. This is a scheduled surf replacement. It's scheduled to replace a 2014 Kubota tractor, which we will use on the back lines till it's no longer usable. These tractors are critical for a lot of our operation, whether it's fall leaf pickup, moving supplies around, unloading supplies, the various cultural practices that we do on our athletic fields and throughout our parks. I would be happy to answer any questions on this. And it did come under what was the projected surf cost. So,
185?
Yes.
Almost, yeah.
yes, yes, it did come under 185. You can see the 102. So.
All right, Alderman Clee.
Thank you. I actually don't have a question. It's just, I have to be honest, I look at a vendor of big boy toys, and it's, really wish it was some other company.
I can understand that.
It does look like we're just kind of buying a bunch of toys for our recreation. And I know it's something you truly need.
Yeah. They are the local Massey Ferguson dealership.
Is it?
I do agree with you, Alderman Clee. I wish the name was something else, too. But the bottom line is, the nice thing about this tractor is that we already have one, so the staff knows how to utilize it. The insides are the same. There's a lot of commonality, and the filters are all the same, too, which I know the fleet superintendent enjoys.
Oh, no, I have no problem with the purchase and so on. It's just the vendor name. It just made me chuckle, so thank you.
You're welcome.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to one John Deere 410P tier articular dump truck in the amount of $703,500 funded from SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvement, I'll make a motion to accept price on file and approve the purchase of one 410P tier John Deere articulated dump truck and approve the purchase and installation of a radio system from United Construction and Forestry in the amount of $703,500. Funding will be through Department 168 Solid Waste Fund, SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvement.
Good evening, Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. This is a scheduled purchase for the Solid Waste Department to operate inside the landfill and move large amounts of materials and demo up and down into the cells of the landfill. And it plays a vital role in meeting the landfill permit requirements to make sure that the landfill is covered in a timely manner at the end of the day. The old equipment is showing signs of wear and tear. We have been doing more than the regular maintenance lately. We have been able to patch it back together and keep it going, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have on this purchase.
Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you. Just a quick question. I noticed in the documentation it refers to like a 5,000-hour warranty and a 5,000-hour service kit package. Is it possible to relate that to miles, or is there really no respective way of being able to do something like that?
So with the bigger equipment, especially in the landfill, because it's contained to the landfill, the machine requires warm-up time. We go by engine hours on a lot of the bigger equipment. It tracks the engine running hours as the mileage. The mileage would be probably somewhere in the ballpark of 5,000 to 10,000 miles at the end of its life, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the engine hours reach 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 hours, which if you divide that out, it comes out to years of running if you factor in 5, 6 days a week of it runtime.
Just a quick follow-up.
Yes.
So that was my next question. How many years is 5,000 hours?
It really depends on usage. It runs right around that 7 to 10 year mark, depending on use,
Thank you.
for that particular piece of equipment.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to purchase of two 2026 Ford F-350s in the amount of $196,946 funded from SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvement, I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of two 2026 Ford F-350 four-wheel drive pickup trucks, and approve the purchase and installation of radio systems from Grappone Ford in the amount of $196,446, $98,473 each. Funding will be through Department 161 Streets, Fund, SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements.
Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. These two pickup trucks are utilized by the street foreman on a daily basis. They also play a vital role for construction crews to get materials to and from job sites throughout the city. They also play a vital role in our snow operations as they are equipped with snowplows. It is worth noting that some of these went from F-250s to 350s, and that was due to payload capacity. We find that it's better if the foreman could take a pallet of bricks in the back of their truck instead of putting a bigger six-wheeler truck in the middle of the road, and just a little bit more economical, and we don't have all that equipment in the street. Happy to answer any questions you have on this purchase.
Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you, and sorry to bother you on this, but I see that it comes with a 7-year, 60,000-mile warranty, which is a little less than 8,600 miles a year. Is that normal for this type of usage for these kind of vehicles?
Yes, if you look at the vehicles that they're replacing, as noted in the motion,
Okay, yeah.
we're averaging, we're coming up on those years, and we're only got 41,000 miles.
Okay, yeah, I see that,
Yeah.
40,832,
So,
yeah.
Due to the electronics that are now coming on all these vehicles, and you'll see this with the heavy equipment now, based on my research, I've tried to go for the extended warranties because of the amount of electrical components that are in these vehicles now. We want to try to capture that under the warranty so that we're not taking that out of our operating budget. I'd love to say that they're perfect, but we do have failures in a lot of the modules. Everything has a module now. Everything has a computer. Everything has miles of wire. So I wanted to make sure we captured an extended warranty to make sure we don't get too deep into the woods with expenditures on components that, you know, can cost anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 depending on the failure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to purchase of one 2026 Ford F-350 four-wheel drive pickup truck in the amount not to exceed $104,588, funded from SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements. I make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of one 2026 Ford F-350 four-wheel drive pickup truck, and approve the purchase and installation of a radio system from Grappone Ford in the amount not to exceed $104,588. Funding will be through Department 161 Streets, Fund SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements.
Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. This vehicle is going to be used in the exact same capacity as the previous motion. The only difference is the upfit package. This one comes with a ladder rack and a work-style bumper and a tow package. And that was just mainly because certain foremen do certain jobs throughout the city, so that one will be used in a similar capacity, but more on a construction side. So it's just built a little differently. Happy to answer any questions you have on this scheduled purchase.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to purchase of a John Deere 160 P-Tier excavator in the amount not to exceed $295,400, funded from SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements, I make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of one 160 P-Tier John Deere excavator, and approve the purchase and installation of a radio system from United Construction and Forestry in the amount not to exceed $295,400. Funding will be through Department 161 Streets, Fund SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements.
Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. This is to replace the current street department's excavator, Unit 12105. This unit that we're currently using is starting to show signs of wear and tear, corrosion to the undercarriage, like most of our equipment. It is used to do various jobs throughout the city, including road digs, replacing pipes and manholes. There will be a trade-in towards this purchase, which helps keep us a little under that SURF price. And the existing one will move to the back line. I'm happy to answer any questions you have on this scheduled purchase.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to one John Deere backhoe in the amount of $211,000, funded from SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements, make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of one 410 P-Tier John Deere backhoe with snow plow package, and approve the purchase and installation of a radio system from United Construction and Forestry in the amount of $211,000. Funding will be through Department 161 Streets, Fund SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements.
Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. The street department utilizes this piece of equipment on daily jobs, similar to the excavator. It'll do sewer digs, other projects throughout the city. It's also used in the wintertime as a primary snow fighter, moving piles of snow off of corners of streets, as well as plowing the roads. The machine that it's replacing is starting to show signs of wear and tear and corrosion due to the environment that it operates in yearly. We do have a backline unit that we will be trading towards this purchase, and that puts us about $80,000 under budget for the SURF. I'm happy to answer any questions you have on this purchase.
Alderwoman Clee.
Thank you. It's really not so much on this purchase, but we're, and it's kind of a little off topic, but we're talking about all these vehicles, and I'm seeing that there's wear and tear, and this particular one, not feasible to be able to repair and so on. If we were to complete the garage as we're going forward and so on, would that give any extra life to any of these vehicles that we're purchasing? Are any of these vehicles going to be, do you think, in that garage?
Currently, some of these vehicles are kept in the current garage we have.
I'm talking about the new one that we're.
The new one, so the other, some of the vehicles that I mentioned tonight are not parked inside, they are parked outside. I would like to think, I don't want to say per se that we're going to fully extend the life, but I would like to think that the components that we're seeing that are failing, we would save money on those things, not necessarily the undercarriage corrosion and things like that. That would be more of a truck wash thing than a building. But we would see probably a pretty good decrease on component failures, air brake cans, and, anything made out of metal that's thin metal, brackets, engine components, sander stands, things like that. That would make an impact of it being inside over the washing.
And it would keep it on the road without having any kind of issues and so on, so.
It should,
That's a
yes.
good thing. Okay, thank you, and I
welcome.
appreciate your time.
Alderman Thibodeau.
I think it's great that these, almost all these vehicles so far have all come under budget, which is kind of interesting, because a few months back, we were looking at a lot of vehicles that were coming in way over the estimated budget, to the point where we were buying things ahead of time to make those cost savings. So that's great that you're.
Certain components, you'll see that we're starting to do things a little differently. We're trying to get some of those backline things evaluated a little earlier and trade them in if we don't think they're needed anymore, to try to get some value out of what we have left instead of just sending it to auction. It also helps keep the SURF a little bit healthy, I feel. So we're making the efforts to try to do the best we can with monitoring the pricing. Unfortunately, with like some of the trash trucks, they do come out of Canada, so that gets a little hard to try to figure out how to keep those prices low. But I think we did a pretty good job last time.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next communication from Amy Gerard, Purchasing Manager, Alderman Govea.
In regard to purchase of 2 Ford F-250 four-wheel drive pickup trucks in the amount of $124,512, funded from SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements, I'll make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve the purchase of 2 2026 Ford F-250 four-wheel drive pickup trucks, and approve the purchase and installation of a radio system from Grappone Ford in the amount of $124,512. Funding will be through Department 177 Parks Fund, SURF 81 Capital Outlay and Improvements.
Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. These trucks are used by the Park Department foreman. They are used in daily operations throughout the city. They move supplies around and sometimes people. They also play a vital role in winter operations as they're equipped with snowplows. The vehicles that they are replacing are starting to show some signs of the undercarriage corrosion, like most of our vehicles. They're going to be moved to the back line. The Park Department, we actually had to remove quite a few vehicles from service that were on the back line, so we're just shifting assets around. Both these purchases combined were about $26,000 under the SURF, so again, saved a little bit there. Happy to answer any questions you have on this purchase.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business resolutions and ordinances, we have nothing. Tabled in committee, we are looking for written assurance on this. We've received a verbal, but not yet the written version, so that we can leave on the table, unless anyone has an objection to that.
No.
Record of expenditures. Alderman Govea.
I move that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period of September 26, 2025 to October 9, 2025.
All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. General discussion. Any general discussion? Alderwoman Clee.
I just want to reiterate something that my colleague from across the way had brought up, and I want to commend Public Works for their hard work in bringing things below the surf and everything that they've been doing in parks and in the general population with the trucks and so on. It's making really good stewards of the taxpayers' money, and I want to thank them.
Any other general discussion? Public comment. Were there any member of the public here? They could make comment at this time, but there's no one here. Remarks by Alderman. Any further remarks by Alderman? Alderwoman Clee.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the meeting of the Finance Committee is adjourned at 7:26 PM. Thank you very much.